Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. It's the Hebrew Life again. I'm Base Jerusalem, and I'm back with another important lesson. We're going to call this one Job the Shemite or Job the Edomite. Yeah. See, when it comes to Job, the story of Job, many people try to refer Job as being an Edomite. Many people don't know when Job was born. They don't know what time in the scriptures he was living. There's all these toss-ups about Job. Today I'm going to prove Job was not an Edomite. He was in fact a Shemite from one of the sons of Shem. And he was not in the land of Edom. He was in the land of the Uz, northeast of Jordan. I'm going to prove all that today. I'm going to prove that the friends Job had around him were also of the area or somewhere close to the area. We're going to start at Job first chapter to unlock this. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright and one that feared God and eschewed evil. We're going to start right there. For all the people saying that Job is an Edomite, you're going way off, brother. You're going way off. Nobody from the seed of Esau has ever been good. You can't name one seed of Esau that was good, that did something good, that did something positive. You cannot. Esau is a bad tree. He cannot bear good fruit. We're going to prove that. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Matthew. Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. Because if Job is a seed of Esau, then he wouldn't be able to show signs of being a perfect and upright man. He wouldn't. You would have to say the Most High is a liar if you were to say Job was an Edomite. Matthew 7, and we're going to start at verse 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that brings forth not good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. There right there in Matthew is saying that any bad tree, any tree that yields bad fruit will be hewed down. Esau is prophesied to be hewed down in Obadiah 8. We're going to go there because this cannot be Job. How could Job go from being a perfect and upright seed to being Esau? How could he be a part of Esau if he's a perfect and upright seed? None of the kids of Esau did anything upright. Now, before we jump to Obadiah, we're going to prove that Job is a Shemite. It says Job is from the land of Uz. Now, people refer to the land of Uz as Edom because it says in Lamentations, the daughter of Edom and Uz. But we're gonna prove that Uz is not Edom. The land of Uz is not Edom, it's not connected to Edom. Let's go to Genesis chapter 10. Genesis chapter 10, and we're gonna start at verse 22 to find out who Uz is. And the children of Shem, Elam, and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mash. We're going to start right there. It says Uz. So the land Job is in Uz. It's in Uz. It's northeast Jordan. I'm going to prove that it's nowhere near Edom. This is the Uz that was spoken of in Job first chapter. Now, when you go back to Job, we're going to start at verse 17. Because that's the first red flag. Job is not an Edomite. Now, we're going to go to the second red flag. If Job was in Edom, we're going to find out. In verse 17, it says, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away. Yes, slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Stop right there. it says the Chaldeans. Edom is nowhere near the Ur of Chaldeans. Nowhere near. The Chaldeans is in modern day Iraq, Babylon. It's nowhere near Edom. This could not be, the land of Uz could not be Edom. It could not be. It has to be northeast Jordan or south of Syria, like I said. This is the only way you can connect the Chaldees to the land of Uz. And if you look up the ancient word for Syria, you're going to find out that it's Aram. Yeah, Aram, that son of Shem. It's all coming back to the true Hebrews. It's not coming back to Eliphaz or Esau. Even though Esau is a Hebrew, but he's a Hebrew Edomite, and he's a bad seed. Now, Job said in Job 30 and 30, my skin is black upon me. If Job was an Edomite, he would have said, my skin is red upon me, or my skin is hairy upon me. Job is not an Edomite. Job is a Shemite, a true Hebrew. This is why he shows signs of being right, perfect, and upright. Because a remnant shall come from Shem. Now, all of Job's friends were visiting. Eliphaz being from T-Man. And if you look in Genesis, let's go to Genesis 36 and find out where the word T-Man come from. Because it said Eliphaz was a Temanite. Let's go to Genesis 32. Genesis 36, I'm sorry. 36, and we're going to read. And the sons of Eliphaz were T-Man, and Omar, and Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. We're going to stop right there. It says that the sons of Eliphaz were T-Man. This is the land where Eliphaz came from. T-Man, South Edom, Southern Edom. And now that we prove that Job is not an Edomite, we're going to prove that the friends Job was around were not Edomites either. We're going to prove that they were, in fact, were Shemites, or they came from the seed of Abraham too. Now I said Bildad, the Shuhite. We're going to find out who's the father of the Shuhites. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25. We got to find out who the Shuhites are. It says Bildad the Shuhite. I'm going to start at chapter 25 of Genesis. And it says, then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. We'll stop right there. If you look up Shuhites, you're going to find out that Shuhite is a descendant of Shua. Yeah, Shua, the son of Abraham. The children Abraham had with Keturah. We're going to keep reading to find out what happened to these children that Abraham had, that nobody talks about. We're going to jump to verse 6. It says, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, and Abraham gave gifts and sent away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived, eastward unto east country. This is where Abraham sent his children. He sent his children who was not going to be with Isaac to the east. If you go east of the land of Canaan, you're going to run into Syria. You're going to run into the land of Uz. You're going to run into many places, but you're not going to run into Edom. You're not going to run into Edom. Now that I proved that Bildad is a descendant of Abraham, I'm going to prove who Zophar is. It says Zophar the Naamanite. We're going to prove that Zophar comes from the descendants of Syrians, which are descendants of Abraham or Aram. It's not descendants of Esau. If you go to Kings, 2 Kings, we're going to start at verse 5. No, we're going to start at chapter 5, verse 27. And it says, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thee seed forever, and he went out from his presence, leper and white as snow. This is Gehazi, Elisha's servant, being turned white as snow, the leprosy of Naaman clinging onto him for his wrongdoing. Now, this proves that Syrians are black. If Naaman was a Gentile, a so-called Syrian of the day, there's no way you could cure him of leprosy. He's already white. He's already pale. But if Naaman was black, then he could be cured of leprosy. Now, this proves that the original Syrians were black. They were black people. They were sons of Shem, sons of Aram. If you look up the ancient word for Syria, it's Aram. So Zophar, even though it's hard to find, Zophar the Naamanite is a descendant of Aram, the son of Shem. He's not an Edom. So all of the friends, this was a Hebrew party. What was going on was a Hebrew party. You had Job, which was a Hebrew through the seed of Shem. You had Eliphaz, which was a Hebrew Edomite. You had Biladad, which was a Hebrew through Abraham and Keturah. And you had Zophar the Naamanite, a Hebrew through Aram, the son of Shem. Now, nobody can say now that Job is an Edomite. I've proven today there's no way Job could be an Edomite. I've proven today there's no way the land of Uz could possibly be in Edom. When the Chaldeans are coming in, taking things, when Job is meeting two of Job's friends are Syrians. And one comes from T-Man, which is an Edomite. That proves that the land, no one is coming all the way from Syria to Edom to visit Job. The land of Uz is northeast Jordan. Eliphaz was not referred to as Job's brother, so that means, or cousin or any relatives, that means Job is not related to the Edomites. Eliphaz was related to the Edomites, not Job. The only time you find the word Nama is in 2 Kings. In 2 Samuel, it says that King David put garrisons in Syria, and they became a tribute to him. Syria, we have always been dealing with Syria. So it's not a coincidence that Job has two of his friends coming from Syria to visit him and check on him. Even Elihu, who was a Buzite, was, if you look up Buzite, he's the son of Nahor. A son of he's Abraham's nephew. That's who Elihu is within the scriptures of Job. So there again, you have a connection with Abraham, or you have a connection with Shem. There's no connection with Esau. The only connection with Esau is Eliphaz. And we're going to turn to Obadiah, the 8th chapter, before we get out of here. Because people think just because Eliphaz came, they don't think that there could be a wise man within the tribe of Edom. Job could not possibly be an Edomite. The seed of Edom was to be cut off forever. I'm going to read that. And this is going to close the casket on is Job an Edomite or not. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau, and the mighty man, OT man, and shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right there in Obadiah, 1st chapter, verse 8, the Most High has Obadiah prophesying that the seed of Esau should be cut off forever. Because no bad tree shall bear good fruit. This is why he's been hewed and cut down and thrown in the fire. Because of what he did to Jacob, his brother. Job is not an Edomite. He was an upright and perfect man. We're going to end it off with that. I'm Base Jerusalem. This is the Hebrew life. Shalom, brothers and sisters.